Tonight, we're learning a custody dispute may be at the center of a bizarre missing persons case in the Midwest. Two moms from Kansas seemingly dropped off the face of the earth, leaving no clues or answers behind except for an abandoned car. Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley were last seen Saturday. Butler's family says the two friends were traveling together to Oklahoma to pick up Butler's kids. Police found their car empty in a rural part of Oklahoma near a school where Butler graduated from in 2015. Today, that school operated on lockdown for the second day in a row. NewsNation correspondent Brooke Schaefer joins us live from Hugoton, Kansas, where the two women are actually from. Brooke, what are you learning? Have we heard anything from the women's families?
The families and investigators, I can tell you, Elizabeth, so far staying pretty tight-lipped tonight. No word really on where these two missing moms could be. And the town where they live here, Hugoton, Kansas, very much on edge tonight. Like you mentioned, a school near the area where that abandoned car was found, operating on lockdown mode for a second day in a row. Doors stayed locked. Visitors were limited to the school today. The family and friends say the two women were on their way to pick up Veronica Butler's two children when they seemingly vanished. Again, the car that they were in found abandoned on the side of the road. The children they were picking up were Veronica Butler's two kids that she shares with an ex, and kids who right now are under the custody of the paternal grandmother. From what we've been told, it seems like there is some serious bad blood between Veronica Butler and her ex's mother. When the two women didn't come back to Hugoton, Kansas with those kids, I'm told Butler's new husband went looking for them, and people in town say it's Veronica Butler's husband who found the car abandoned on the side of the road. The two moms, I'm told, more acquaintances than friends, but very involved in their community and their churches. Butler's small business here in Hugoton, Kansas, closed until further notice as investigators work to find these two moms. A woman here in town telling me she is very concerned, especially with little to no updates from authorities. Elizabeth?
Absence of information does little to reassure people who might be on edge. Brooke Schaefer, thanks so much for that live report. Let's bring in Jennifer Coffindaffer, former FBI agent and NewsNation law and justice contributor. Jennifer, first of all, why would this high school be on lockdown?
Well, that's really concerning. Anytime you lock down a school like that is because you feel like there might be a threat in terms of if you are law enforcement toward individuals in that school. And I think that's very concerning. What sort of threat do they think exists for people in that school? I guess it's because of the nexus with Veronica, but it's certainly concerning.
Yeah, especially if it is a custody dispute of some kind. Do we know where these kids are, how old they are, anything about them? I mean, are they students perhaps at that school?
It's been very tight-lipped, but I would believe they might be students at that school. It makes sense from the proximity. We know it's a very small school. In fact, Veronica was the first and only person to graduate in 2015. So it's a teeny school, so it makes sense the children might go there, and perhaps they're concerned about a threat toward the children.
I imagine in all these cases, family members of the missing women are the first people police focus on, especially given the fact that it was many years ago in 2015, but there was a big, very bitter custody dispute in 2015 between Veronica Butler and her ex.
Absolutely. Anytime I hear, and law enforcement hears, that there's a custody dispute, you automatically hone in on that because of all the cases that have occurred where custody was at the nexus of why these individuals disappeared. Cassie Carley comes to mind right off the bat, and many others.
Yeah, but the kids were reportedly staying with her ex's parents, her ex's mother. So where's her ex in all this?
Well, her ex apparently does have issues with substance abuse from the background that I've done on him. So certainly there are some concerns there. And I think it's something that they are going to be looking closely at. Where exactly was he at the time of the disappearance?
But it's hard to think of anybody who could overpower two people in a car. I mean, she wasn't by herself. She had a friend with her.
Well, unfortunately, though, we know that any time, and I'm just saying, if a firearm was used or some other weaponry was used, it's easy to get control of the individuals you want to get control of and to manipulate them. So hopefully this isn't the case, Elizabeth, but because of the time that's gone by, the rural nature of where they were found and this area, it's very concerning that they're both still missing.
And Jennifer, how unusual is it that it was Veronica Butler's husband who found the missing car, the empty car, and not police?
I think that is concerning. It does make some sense because he knew the route that they were taking, that they were going to Ava, Oklahoma. And so it seems that he was just tracking that route.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.